anyone else really struggling to get back into January? Like, I had a week off in Christmas and I was asleep pretty much all of it. And I can't wake up. Like, I literally can't wake up. I am in some, like, energy funk. Someone's taking it out of me. And to be quite frank, it's pissing me off. Like, I just can't get into it. It's actually lucky that I'm sat in front of this camera with makeup on. I mean, I've barely done my hair, but with makeup on and an actual jumper on, because I just have not been going to the gym. I have been living off pistachio croissants. I just can't get up and go. I'm going away tomorrow and I'm like, sort me out. I've got a week off and I'm going to Ireland and I'm going to do a retreat. Like, I've given myself a retreat schedule of what I want to do. I'm not thinking about work, it's all about me. So I will do a video when I'm back about like my learnings and how it was and stuff, but I'm really hoping it sorts me out, because this is just not the one. It's not the one. So I'm gonna do my best. I'm not gonna do like a super structured video with steps and stuff like I usually do, but I am gonna talk about friendships today, because I did a video a few weeks ago, in fact it was quite a while ago, about how to deal with mean girls. And we've all been there. Like, we've all been in a situation, and being completely honest, when I was younger, when I was at school, I was the mean girl. Like, I was not very nice, I was very jealous, I was just not the nicest kid. I was, yeah, very angry, very jealous, very wanted what other people had. I actually was very insecure and very unhappy in myself. But I have experienced the same thing on the receiving end in adult life, and karma, what goes around comes around, whatever it is, like, it's not nice. And so I did a video about how to deal with those situations, because I've dealt with it a few times and I feel like I've dealt with it quite well. However, I wanted to do a follow-on video, and a lot of people actually messaged me about that and said that they were going through the same thing, and we started chatting about it and how they can resolve it and all that sort of stuff. So I wanted to do a follow-up video to that about how to make friends and curate a friendship group as an adult and in your 30s, because it's really hard to do. Like, we change loads in our 20s. A lot of us still have the same friends that we had at school or uni. A lot of us still live in our hometowns, and so you just kind of fall into this trap, and then you get to your 30s. And I think a lot of people find that their friendship group, with respect, is quite mundane, or they feel different to them, or they fall into the pattern of like just putting up with people. And I just don't think that we should have to live like that. And so I spent a lot of time in 2024 really figuring out who I am. I mean, I had a pretty good idea and I know who I am quite well anyway, but who do I want to be around, and what friendship groups do I want to be part of, what friendship groups don't I want to be part of, what sort of people do I want to be around, what sort of people don't I want to be around. And it's actually really hard. I don't want to keep using the word curate your friendship group, because I feel like that's like, we're all human beings, and I truly believe that there's not that many bad people in, I don't mean in the world, because there are, but I mean like in your initial vicinity of friendship and your friendship group. And so I don't want to be like everyone's a dick. It's just that there's some people that you don't align with and others that you do. And it can be really hard to kind of get rid of people from your life, or keep people at arm's length a little bit. And it's not about falling out, but it's about how to deal with those situations, so that you are going out and you're socializing with people, and then you're coming home and you're coming away from those situations feeling like really uplifted, really valued, really happy, and really connected more than anything. Because I think we do live in a time, not to repeat old ground and keep saying the same things, but we do live in a time where it's so digital, and I've definitely felt it, where you can spend a lot of time on your own or living through social media or whatever. And so you want to come away from friendship groups feeling like you are connected with people. So here's a bit about how I've done it in my life, and I hope that you can take something away from what I'm about to say, because I really hope that it will help you. Just before we get into it, if you are liking these videos, please comment and subscribe on them. I know it's that thing that we all say on these videos, but it does really help to connect and to push our videos out further. And also, a lot of people DM me about the videos, which is really interesting, because I don't really push these on Instagram, but I will put my Instagram in the description of the video. So if you do want to chat about anything, like just DM me and I'd love to have a convo. Anyway, let's get into it. Just for some context, and I feel like I'm saying this because a lot of people I think will feel the same. So I spent my 20s thinking that I had to have this massive friendship group, that I had to be part of this big circle, and I always felt A, frustrated with myself, and B, like I never fit in. And I felt frustrated with myself and I felt like I didn't fit in because I didn't have a massive friendship group. And I've had massive friendship groups in the past, then I've kind of grown out of them or I've moved away from them or whatever because I've moved cities. And yeah, I always felt this like void in my life in my 20s for not having a big friendship group. However, in my 30s, I look back and think, I didn't have a big friendship group because I'm not that type of person. I'm someone who I love intimacy. I love like a one-on-one situation or a small group situation. I love time alone. I love proper conversation. I hate clubbing. I don't really like bars. I don't drink that much. And so when I have been in a situation where there's a lot of people or a big friendship group, I cannot speak in a group chat. If anyone who is in a group chat with me knows that I do not respond. I can't keep up. I am not interested in reading messages on my phone. I'd way rather have a conversation. I'm so millennial. As I'm saying this out loud, I am like, Chlo, you are so fucking millennial. It's ridiculous. But it's just not me. It's just not for me. And so I kind of, not wish, because I don't really live by regret, but I do look back and think if I'd have just cut myself a bit of slack for always wanting to have this perfect friendship group and this massive social life, and actually just accepted myself for who I was and how I wanted to live, that would have been so much easier. So my one piece of advice, if you take anything away from this video, is just to actually realise if what you're telling yourself you want or what you're telling yourself you don't have, is that because you want it and you don't have it, or is that because you think you want it because it's the societal norm or whatever term you want to phrase that as? Like, they're two very different things. And I think a lot of the time we feel like we're at a loss or we feel like we're at a void because everyone else has this thing that you don't. And actually a lot of the time you don't have the thing, one, because you don't want it enough to go out and get it, and two, it's just not for you. Like, sometimes you just have to accept that. Like, for me, a huge friendship group is not for me. I've had one, I've had a few, I've been part of things, I've been part of big group things, and I don't enjoy it. I don't feel comfortable, I feel overwhelmed, I get very sensory overload, and I'd much prefer to do things in smaller groups. So first step, first thing to realise is to realise what you're telling yourself and what's the truth and what is it that you actually want. The biggest mistake that people do when they think they want something, or when they want to attract friends, or when they want to change elements of their life, they sit and they wait and they do nothing. And that, my friends, is procrastination. It's procrastination for the nation, and we shouldn't be doing it. Change doesn't come from procrastinating. Change comes from being active or removing something from your life. If I think back to my 20s, or to when I've really wanted something and put too much tension on something or too much focus on something, I've actually stopped living my life because I've wanted the thing so much. And that sounds ridiculous now I'm saying it in hindsight, but it's true. And I think a lot of people do. I think we fall into this trap of sitting and waiting for something to happen. How are you going to meet people? How are you going to make friends? How are you going to draw in and magnetize the people that are meant for you, whether it's friends, relationships, whatever? Let's keep it on friends for this video. But how are you going to find those people and attract those people and connect with those people if you're sitting at home waiting for them to come into your life, waiting for it to happen? It's just not going to happen. So get out and live your life. Get to the gym, get to eating out, get to a bookshop, get to a coffee shop, get walking, get on the hike that you want to go on, get to the traveling, get to the badminton, get to the tennis club. Whatever you want to do, start doing it, because what happens when you become stagnant? You sit and you think and you think and you think. What happens when you're not stagnant and when you start to take action and when you start to move on with your life and live your life, you fill your own cup up. And when you fill your own cup up, you give off a totally different energy. If I have learned one thing, energy is everything. Genuinely, print that on your wall, tattoo it on your forehead. Like, energy is everything. What you give off, you attract. And so when you start getting active and when you start doing the things that you want to do, you will automatically attract the people into your life that are meant to be there, and you will form genuine connections and relationships. Another thing that we tend to do is, like, we hold on to this want so much. Like, I want this friendship group, I wish I had a best friend, I wish this, I wish that, I wish this. And all it does is, again, it drags in tension and it drags in the wrong energy into your life, and then you give out this like stagnant shit that you're holding on to, and it's just not good. Like, no one's going to come into your life when you are holding on to stagnant shit. Let's just roll with the stagnant shit. I don't know where that came from, but let's go with it. What you have to do is, and I found this so hard, but you have to let go. You have to let go of the overthinking, of the one, of the I'm not good enough for this, no one's going to be my friend, like I'm attracting the wrong people, why can't I have what they have, why can't I have a friendship group like that, why is my social life like this? You have to let go of all that, and you have to, my friend, just crack on. You have to crack on. And so if you are someone who, and I've done it and I still do it sometimes, let go, learn to let go of the thing that you are holding on to, whether it's the want, the need, the desire, and you have to get active, start moving, start getting out, and start attracting the things that you want and that you deserve into your life. The next thing is to make an effort. You have to make an effort. People are not going to come to you. People are not going to knock on your door. People are not going to WhatsApp you. People are not going to drop into your DM out of thin air. If you want to change your life, if you want to attract new friends, if you want to form new bonds, if you want to form new connections, you have to be the one to message, to make the plans. What do you think about going here for a coffee on Saturday? What do you think about going for breakfast next weekend? Oh my god, there's a really new restaurant I want to try for dinner. That was all about food, but it's relatable to anything. Hiking, paddle, tennis, I don't know, driving a car, I don't know, whatever it is that you want to do, whatever hobby, whatever activity, whatever conversation you want to have, might be going to pick out a new book, like whatever, shopping, whatever, you have to ask people. So you have to make an effort. And I'm saying this again because I used to be someone who's like, why does no one invite me anywhere? Why doesn't this? Why that? Stop sitting at home, feeling sorry for yourself, pitying yourself, and start to ask people, do you want to come over for dinner? I'm making spag bol tonight. Do you want to come over? Because I make the best spaghetti bolognese. I actually do. But I make the best spaghetti bolognese. Do you want to come over and have dinner with me? I'll get a bottle of wine, like, we'll blah, 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 blah. We'll do whatever. Start asking people if they want to spend time with you. Let me just tell you one thing. If you are worried about that, or you're worried about people saying no, get out of your own head. Like, you're not as awful as you're making yourself out to be. And so you need to stop telling yourself that so-and-so doesn't want to hang out with me. Why would anyone want to come down for dinner? Why would anyone want to do this? Like, get out of your own head and just send the message. I dare you. In fact, pause the video. I dare you to send the message now. And I promise you, you will get the response that you are hoping for. Right, last one. This is something, look, I'm even seizing up. I'm seizing up. I'm seizing up because it used to make me so anxious, and now I still struggle with it sometimes, but I am so much better at saying what's on my mind and speaking up for myself than I ever used to be. In friendships, there has to be a level of respect on both sides. You have to hold that respect to a high regard and a high standard, and that's not about being cutthroat or being savage. It's about forming a relationship that works for both people, for two people, and forming a connection that works for both of you. Because I've noticed this a lot, and it used to happen to me a lot, and I never used to speak up on it. Someone would take the piss, completely take the piss, they would disrespect you, they'd cancel plans, they wouldn't invite you to something, blah, 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 whatever it is. And it hurts. Like, it hurts when someone arranges something and you're not invited. It hurts when someone goes for dinner and you thought you would have been invited. It hurts. Like, we've all got feelings and it's upsetting. And so if you are feeling like that and you're not saying something, and it could be, I had a case recently where one of my oldest friends, we just weren't vibing and we just felt disconnected. And so we had a conversation, we had a call, and we spoke about it and we chatted about it. What I would have done 3 years ago is I would have ignored the hell out of it, because it would have made me feel so uncomfortable to speak up, and I respect the relationship and the friendship too much to just forget about it. Like, we've been friends for years and years and years, and that's not always the case. I think sometimes new friends are in your life and they disrespect you, and you have to have a conversation about it. You cannot let people come in, and it's not about being walked all over. It's about feeling worthy, and it's about you holding yourself accountable to have a high level of self-worth. I think there's a lot of people who, and I was one of these, I think there's a lot of people who just let things slip. And when you let things slip, it's not about other people disrespecting you, it's about the way that that makes you feel about yourself. And then slowly but surely your confidence starts to come down, your self-worth starts to come down, your validation starts to come down, and you feel like you're not good enough for anyone. And then that becomes a problem, because the relationships that you try and build from then on, you don't have the confidence to be like, do you want to just grab a coffee? Should we go for a walk? What are you doing on Sunday? And that's when it becomes a problem, because that's when you start to isolate yourself, that's when you start to procrastinate. And so when you don't speak up for yourself, when you're feeling a type of way and you don't act on that, what you're actually doing is you're doing yourself a massive disservice. And it's not about being a dick, and it's not about standing up for yourself, and it's not about having a voice. It's about having self-respect and allowing certain situations into your life and not allowing others into your life. And so for years I didn't speak up on anything, and it fucked my confidence. Like, it fucked my confidence completely, because I didn't want to do anything with anyone, because I didn't feel like anyone wanted to do anything with me, because for years I'd been in friendships that just wasn't two-way. It wasn't a two-way thing. And so if you're in the same situation, and I don't mean like I haven't been in awful friendships, I just like notice something and I'd be like, oh, I don't really like that, or I didn't like the way that they spoke to me just then. It's fine, I'll just let it slide. Like, no, don't let it slide, because that doesn't do anything. And so if you want valid friendships and you want great, strong connection friendships, then you have to speak up. You have to carry yourself with self-worth. Don't be scared of conflict. Don't be scared of hurting someone else's feelings. Don't be scared of disrupting a group. Don't be scared of ruining a friendship, because what happens when you do speak up is other people then start to have a little bit more respect for you. And again, it's not about like swinging your dick around and, you know, demanding certain things or being nasty or being arrogant. It's just about, look, what you just did there, like, it kind of hurt my feelings and I didn't really appreciate it, and next time, you know, I'd really love to be invited, or, you know, could we do that together next time? And so it doesn't have to be this attack on someone else. It just has to be an accommodation for you having a conversation about the way that you feel. Because sometimes what you'll realise the more conversations you have like this is sometimes the other person's not even aware, or they didn't even know. We're all human, we all slip up sometimes. Sometimes we can all be in our own heads. Like, I do it all the time, and you probably do it all the time as well. Like, you're just on autopilot and people don't think so, but you don't know that until you have that conversation. And also they don't know how you're feeling until you tell them. Like, no one's in your head, so how do they know how you're feeling unless you tell them? And so there's more reasons to speak up for yourself rather than just being on the attack. It's about building a connection and a relationship with someone that is actually meaningful on both sides. And so speaking up, I feel like I've gone from like aggressively speaking up to like, here's why you should speak up. I knew my head today would be like, ah. But genuinely, when you have a conversation, it just creates a level of understanding, and I promise you it will strengthen your friendship, it will strengthen your connection, and it will strengthen the self-worth and self-respect that you have for yourself, because you've actually had your own back. And do you know, that's a really good point actually, because I used to be like, I hate, no one has my back, blah blah blah. It's because I didn't have my own. I did not have my own. And so when you have your own back, you allow space and people to come in, and therefore energy, and allow other people to have your own back. And so it's all about numero uno, first of all, but it's about feeling. It's about how you feel, and it's about sharing, and that's what a relationship is, isn't it? And that's what a friendship is at the end of the day. So yeah, I feel like we've been all around the houses, and I don't know if any of that made sense, because honestly, if anyone is feeling weird about January, can you please let me know? Because I feel like everyone's just cracking on with like health and fitness goals, and they're in the gym and they're eating healthy and they're not drinking, and I'm just not doing any of that. Like, I am laid on the sofa still watching Harry Potter, still eating bags of chocolate, and I haven't been drinking, to be fair, but I've been eating pizza and I'm here for it, to be honest. So yeah, I hope this video makes sense, or I hope you can make sense of it. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did get to the end, please do subscribe, because I appreciate it more than you will ever know. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Goodbye.